And we start the day by toasting in our non-branded coffee cup. Monsieur Kazim, we've got Thomas Frank, who was last night seen blatantly parading Arsenal clubwear as the Tottenham manager. He hasn't been sacked yet, but I'm expecting the latest Premier League casualty this afternoon for that absolutely heinous crime of having a coffee out of a cup with Arsenal emblazoned on it. He's getting the sack. Do you agree?
No, in the context of being in the UK, in England, no, I don't agree.
You don't think that's a completely sackable offence? He's actually had a sip out of a cup that had Arsenal, and they are rivals of Tottenham. This is craziness. This is the biggest slight in drinks history, football related, in this country since the last one.
It's craziness because it doesn't go to the principles of any regulation, whether it be unwritten rule or real rule written down. Nothing here. In England, it doesn't work like that. I see Tottenham players wearing red boots. I see Arsenal players wearing white boots. I see Man United players wearing light blue boots. Everton players wearing red boots. So it has to go hand in hand. You know what I mean? Do I think if he knew, which I don't think he now, I think he just got passed.
Are you sure he wasn't doing an Amorim and thought, you know what, I've just seen Ruben collect a 10 million lump sum. That looked good to me. I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a Ruben.
Listen.
And ta-da! What's going on? I don't know. It was just a mistake.
Perfect product placement. It couldn't have been even. It was like perfectly. Whoever gave him that cup.
PepsiCo is coming to Thomas now with a sponsorship deal because of how well.
If they're smart and their media marketing, their media department is smart and their advertising, he can literally get a nice brand now for cups.
To add to his payoff as well. He's doing very well.
You're crazy.
But seriously speaking, in Turkey, if you have the gala manager who was there with the Fenerbahce Cup parading around, he's gone.
100%.
Same thing. If you're in Marseille with the PSG Cup. Doesn't matter who you are.
Especially if it's a day where you're not even playing at their stadium.
In South America, what's the deal?
Man, you're gone. Like I think a lot of clubs abroad, you would be. Like you just said, PSG against Marseille, it's impossible. You know, whatever day, whatever weather, it's impossible that you could walk out coming off your bus with a PSG Cup or vice versa. Man, imagine Galatasaray coach walking out, he's playing against Trabzon and he's walking out with a Fener. It is an innocent mistake, and I want everybody to understand that. It's not, you know, like.
But it's an innocent mistake which, in different circumstances, in a different environment, he's sacked.
Oh yeah, imagine. Listen, let's put it into context. Yeah, if the Celtic coach was playing against, I don't know, Park and Thistle, and he walked out with a Rangers Cup, he's gone.
Martin's not doing that.
No, I'm not pointing it to the character of Thomas
Martin's
Frank.
got a load of sort of Tupperware and coffee cups as well.
Listen,
he knows that they're all Celtic branded.
Stop doing that.
He's got it.
You know.
Martin's got it.
Listen.
Wilfred was still there with his MLS stuff. That was a problem.
Listen, you know people have their routines, okay? So his routine probably is, you know, he might have got a couple of good results as, let's say, Jonathan made a coffee for him, so now it's become their routine. As he gets off the bus, there you go, boss. That's their routine now. You do stuff to make you feel comfortable that the last few games, maybe you've got results from, and now it's become a routine for you, and he's walked off the bus and but it was just the placement. It wasn't even like it was half, and it was like, bang. So, listen, I see the seriousness of it, but I think we have to laugh it off.
Irrelevant as well.
I see the irrelevantness of it.
Yeah.
In terms of, I don't think how good of a coach he is can be judged on that mistake, genuine mistake that was made by someone else. I don't think, I saw something on TalkSport where they said, how does he not know? Listen, how many times I can
it's not great for somebody that you sort of credit in his job has to be particularly observant. It's not great, is it? It's a bit of a miss. I mean, I suppose in the way that he handled it, from the way that he's picked it up and then was demonstrating it to everybody, he couldn't have seen it.
Listen, man. Listen. I understand it. Yeah, if I was a Tottenham fan, it's definitely something to talk about. But again, you know, it's pot calling kettle black. Understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
In terms of one thing, because you're not doing so well,
This is a big deal.
this is a big deal. Again, though, into context, we're in England. If this was abroad and you're top of the league, you'd still be gone. So that's what I'm trying to say to you. So if he was top of the league now, would it be acceptable and everybody would be bantering, right? But because what was the result yesterday? They didn't win either. did they?
They drew with Wolves.
They drew. They're 14th. To the context of things again, to some people's perspective, not doing so
Well,
great.
that's the thing. How is he doing? Make an assessment.
So
of Thomas
so
Frank.
for me, again, like, and we was getting into it off camera, right? It depends what the job description is. People don't understand that, right? So you're going to be very blunt because you're going to be like results, but you know also being working in charge of coaches, in charge of running clubs and etc. His job might be very different. It might be, listen, we want you to come in and change the culture,
Yeah,
stability.
whatever it is.
We
We've
need
got
this
issues in
down.
this
We need
place,
that
we've got
down.
all
Right?
stuff.
You understand? So in terms of points and results,
Mhm.
he's not doing maybe what they thought. But I think the plan with Thomas Frank is not just this season. It's like a 3-4 year plan in terms of what he did at Brentford, right? And it's not just him. Obviously, it's the owners and the directors, but having someone at the steering role that was able to direct that and etc. That might be the plan. Okay, they're not going to say that out loud, right? Look, 14th, 10th is all right for us today because we want the stability. We want to prepare it for next year. Obviously, it's not 14th. I'm just saying, for example,
But
right?
That's where they are at the season. You know,
Right,
and,
that's
and
where
I
they
think
are. So
when they made the change from Ange as well, they were maybe expecting a little bit of an increase. But the one thing with Spurs, if you look at their squad as well, they don't have a massive amount of experience anymore.
they don't have a massive amount of experience. They don't.
Got a
Remember,
young squad, you know.
young squad, setting the foundation, also being in Champions League. Yeah, so I think
Takes its
the-
toll,
takes it, but also gives fans and everybody else a different expectation now. All in Champions League as well. Yep. The main thing people have to understand is creating and teaching a routine, a culture, a philosophy doesn't work overnight. It doesn't work overnight.
Do you think that we, as fans, as supporters,
Expect.
do you think that people have less time than they used to have? Especially
If
as a
you
manager
ask Wilfred
coach?
Nancy that, he will tell you, of course. You know, people do have less. You know, people become impatient now because the world's changed to a fast pace. Everything is now. When you want it now, when you want food now, boom, click, done. It's there. When you want to listen to music, it's there. You don't even have to save music no more. You stream it. You know, when you want to see what's going on, everything's there. Everything is there. So it's very fast paced. Nothing takes time. You know, growing up, when my nan or my nene, when they're cooking food, they're preparing it 3-4 days from
Always
before.
cook low and slow, right?
Low and slow.
Low and slow.
Understand?
Mm-hmm.
Steady, patience, put love into it, put time into it,
You
put
used
energy
to love
into
your
it.
nene's food, right?
Oh, my nene, my grandma's food, my nan's food is.
What was the special
best.
dish?
My
What
wife's
was the?
food.
What was the?
My nene made the best dolma ever. My nene is Turkish Cypriot, the best dolma. It's a bit different to Turkey mainland. You know, my nene makes it with meat. Yeah. My bro, she grew the vine leaves herself in her garden. So again, she didn't go buy vine leaves from the shop. She's growing it from in her house. It takes time. You understand? Nothing. Some things do, like Lewis Hamilton driving fast. That's what you want. You don't want him to go around like a turtle. Yeah. But a lot of things take time. A lot of things you need to put love into it. You need to put effort into it. You need to put communication into it. You know, essence like that. It's all about the essence of things. You know, my grandma, the best dish that I like, she cooked loads of stuff, same as my nana, but my grandma's dumplings, yeah, rice and peas, bullfoot soup, man,
Look at the smile on your
Ah,
face as
man.
well.
You know, both my well, all three, my nene, my grandma, and my nan, are not here with us anymore. So it's just, you know, and now my wife is very similar. You know, things are done with love, things are done with patience. You understand? And it's kind of, it's not trickled. It's come into football with a massive bang. Everything is now, and that's why we're not getting the results. Things are a process. You know, we don't value the process as much as the prize anymore. We don't. And I don't think people will understand that, you know. Do you get that?
Yeah, but I also think that there is.
So I know what you're gonna say, because people are getting paid a load of money
No,
and things like that.
not
Well,
even.
that's a lot of people's reason to it though. Well, he's getting 100 grand a week. It should be now. Like things don't work like that.
Well, I think that when it comes to looking at players with immediacy, you know, if we take a look at Benjamin Sesko, so Sesko got a couple of goals last night, more than doubled his tally for the season as well.
Well, we pivoted, but go on.
Well, no, but it comes to that essence in the expectation. In what is the expectation? So he's come in as a very expensive striker.
Yeah.
And within that club, you have a history of number nines who've been amazing. So your expectation is based upon what you've previously
what somebody else
experienced, right? And what the standards have been before.
Okay.
That's where it's leveled at, right? If I ask you, for example, a Chelsea number 9, what is a Chelsea number 9 like? What would you say to me?
Depends. Are we going? But this is what I'm saying. Are we going back to Drogba? Because that's the last number 9 that was.
So when you, for me, a Chelsea number 9 exactly is the best experiment they've had is a kind of Drogba. He set the standard.
Okay.
You know, if you go to Manchester United, you look at Van Nistelrooy, for example, you look at Ronaldo. That's the bar. So,
but that bar then has to become. Listen, your expectation, yes.
that's
very
what
hard.
And that's
But
what people are used to, though. But
yeah,
your
they're
fans,
used to
your
that.
fans,
Yeah.
your lifelong Chelsea fan has seen Drogba. He's seen his team win the Champions League.
I think that's insanity though. Like for example, like Man United fans, for example, this is not me criticising every United fan.
But this is
but
why
Man
I think,
United
you
is
know,
not,
that immediacy. That's why.
yeah, but what I'm trying to say, Man United is not that team anymore. They're not the team of Alex Ferguson. They're not the team of winning Champions League and everyone wanting to go there. So you need to create that again, right? And by creating that, it's going to take time. By creating that, you can't expect Sesko to get you 30 goals a year when you haven't had a 25 goal striker
Well, you have,
for a
but he's
while.
just playing at Napoli.
Yeah, for example. And there you go, right? So, listen, if people would have got rid of Alex Ferguson when people were screaming, United won't be where they are.
Before, yeah.
Arsene Wenger wouldn't be where Arteta now wouldn't be. So we're getting rid of people without them being able to really implement. Now I'm not talking about Amorim. I'm talking about, for example,
Wilfried Nancy.
Nancy's gone after 32 days. Okay?
Crazy, right? Absolutely crazy.
It is in any other job. Are you getting sacked after 32 days of not doing something like in terms of? Why are you about to smile?
God, just yeah, people with capability is getting sacked in a shorter time. I know a few. But anyway, sorry.
In what job?
Loads.
But the factors are different, Seb. The variables are different.
True.
Yes,
True,
the
true,
variables are different. Don't get me wrong. If you got a postman and he's posting the letters in different houses for 32 days, that's crazy.
In my
But
team,
it's
some
very-
of my mates, we're
Yeah, yeah,
just
hold
not
on.
the best employees.
I can't do this with you. Look,
We can't talk about that.
guys, look. You understand what I'm saying? But there's nothing. You're not as in a lot of jobs. There's nothing you're going up against where the person's trying to stop you from doing what you need to do. Yes.
Yeah, and
Okay.
also, you know, in none of these regular jobs do you have a media scrum afterwards scrutinising everything that you've done.
Right.
But I think with Wilfried Nancy, when is it doomed? So you must have been in clubs as well, whereby they make an appointment and you know on the first day, this might not work quite as well as the previous manager. Now I see a little grin on your face now.
Yeah, players can find out coaches really quick. Yeah,
I was thinking of this morning. Who is the coach that you've seen sort of kicking a ball, and his
I can't
technique
kick it.
was so bad you just thought, and it actually affected your way of thinking about him because you thought you can't talk to me about football when that's how you strike a ball. It's happened, right?
Yeah, there's been a few because coaches, they always have a game. But this is when you're young and you're thinking like, how is he could tell me what to do? He can't even trap a ball. But that's crazy. That is crazy. Yeah, I think that's more like, especially I think when you're dealing with like youth team, 18s and stuff like that, they'll look at you and be like, yeah, that's crazy. I think when you start becoming a little bit more experienced, you start realizing, you know what, it's business
It's
based.
irrelevant.
Yeah.
Actually, how he can strike a ball is pretty irrelevant.
It's business based and it's a bit different. But I think at a certain age, at a certain time, you defo look at the appearance of your coach, like that's a bit crazy. You're telling me to do stuff, but you're not even looking after yourself. You know.
So you're even looking at the size of the coach. So.
Not the size, but you look at the way that your coach is living.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you for example, your coach wants you to come in and wants you to be a certain way. Don't drink, eat clean, be in your house at a certain time, and he's doing certain things. You defo look at that. It's like your parents, right? I think this day and age now is very different to ours.
Mm-hmm.
This day and age is a show me, don't tell me generation. Our generation was a do as I say, not as I do.
That's probably where I went wrong. Yeah.
It's probably where you went wrong.
Let me try.
Right? Listen. So this generation is a show me, don't tell me. Okay? So you have to be and live. You have to live by what you say. You have to live by what you mean. You have to live by your philosophy. It's defo that, because everything is rapid. You know, most of the time, this generation, and I'm not one of these old school hating elders now, because it's crazy. I'm 39, but I am.
And look at you.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, it's mad. But what I mean by that, because I am a big advocate for the youth, massive advocate, 100%. You know, but at the same time, we need to teach them as well the process. But they don't see it because everything's so fast, right? So they see Neymar doing all of that. They don't see when he's at home. They see his parties and that, right? They don't see when he's at home and he's crying his eyes out on his knees and he's investing this, and LeBron James is investing this on his body, and his chef and his cook and his trainer, at whatever expense, right? I know they got crazy money and etc., but you can do it at yours as well. You can look after yourself, right? So it's a show me, don't tell me, and that's why I think, yeah, when you talk to me about when you look at some guys, it definitely is that.
So with Wilfried Nancy, the shortest reign since John Barnes.
What was John Barnes's?
I think he lasted 6 months, if that, maybe 5 months. I think.
So it was a big difference.
So yeah, a huge difference also. Was it justified getting rid of him so early?
Again, right? None of us are in this meeting. Okay, what we spoke last time. None of us are in the board meeting. None of us are in the interview meeting.
Well, half the people that hired Wilfried Nancy weren't in
not
that
there.
board meeting.
So that
anyway,
goes against him, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It depends how you're looking at it. If you're looking at it on just results, is it justified?
Okay. Well,
yes.
I know that you don't like to be put in the shoes of other people, so I'm going to put you in Peter Lawwell, the CEO.
But he's not there. So
The guy who's just left has left, but his shoes are just there actually,
No,
and they
but
fit
so
you
you can't.
perfectly. Bang, bang,
They
there
don't.
you
I'm
are.
a size
I'm in
13.
Peter Lawwell's shoes.
Listen, I'm a
what are you
size-
saying? Nancy in,
I'm a
out,
size
what are you in?
13 with a broad foot.
You know what, Peter's a
Lowell
big
is a
guy.
size 9.
No, Lawwell.
Yeah,
Lawwell's like
it's
a
a
12 and a
Adidas.
half. A
It's a
12 and a
Adi-
half. Just squeeze your toes a bit and you're
It's
in
an
there.
Adidas 9. Which is really an 8.
It's an 8.
So anyway, all jokes aside, yeah, go on.
So yeah, you cannot be in that space of time expected to be able to implement your style of play, to be able to influence the team in any other way.
Not after, yeah.
31. You
Not
can't.
after. Let me explain this to people.
I think I've been on holiday longer than Wilfried
This is what I'm
Nancy
saying,
in
right.
Celtic. You know.
So if you really, I want everybody to really think about this. In his first 3 weeks, how many games did he have?
There's 3, I think, 4, 5. I think we got up to
4?
5. Yeah.
All right. Do you know how much time that is on a training ground?
Because he had 2 fixtures in his first week, so I think
Or 3 fixtures in 10 days, didn't he, or something like that, right?
something like that. So
Don't worry,
he's had 0
gonna check it
time.
out, right?
0 time
If you really,
to affect the players, to change the way they're
he's
thinking,
had
to change the way
0
they do.
time on grass. Okay? And then they had an absolute club legend coming before him. Hold on, not just a club legend. You know what? I have to say something, right? And I
The
don't
Sir
mind.
Alex
I think life,
Ferguson of Glasgow.
right? I have to, and I say this to them, I always teach my kids this. When I made a mistake, I'm honest. So this mistake that I'm going to say is when I look at Martin O'Neill now, aesthetically, yeah, he is one of the coaches. He's got the most aura. That's what the young people say nowadays, right? Aura. If you see him aesthetically, he's up to the times. Yeah, and I know I was saying he was out of football for a long time, but you know what? Hold my hands up. There is something that you can relate. The way he's going into training, like he looks good. Yeah, he looks good.
He is Celtic's Sir Alex Ferguson for me. He has now obtained that.
Now
level.
I've not seen Alex Ferguson dressed like him.
No, but I'm talking about the.
No, but I'm just
air
saying,
of
for example,
invincibility, because
this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm getting to. So his aura that he's left behind has been massive for Wilfred Nancy to try and fill in that change room.
too big, right?
Like, I think so.
So,
Right.
would we say that Wilfred Nancy basically was madly affected by the fact that they put Martin O'Neill in as a caretaker? Had they just gone with
I think without knowing.
like an assistant,
Without knowing, so I don't
first team
think-
coach of Brendan, they
Yeah.
didn't obviously say, "Oh, listen, we've made a mistake with Nancy because we found out that Martin's available." So what we're going to do is they really didn't plan that out because
No.
you know it's
What I think is, I don't think in his mind he's thinking, oh my God, Martin O'Neill was so good here, I'm having problems. I don't think that. So take that out. I don't think Wilfred Nancy would have ever thought that. But what I'm talking about, without intentionally knowing that the players are doing that. Look at this. Even like, look at he's coming in. I don't know how it was coming. I don't know.
no, but
But
if
it would have been like
if
that.
things are working, that's the problem. And
that would have been-
again, it's
and then a legend. I think for all the media, for all the people, like Martin just left a crazy aura.
he knows everyone.
Yeah, so
know, I
it was,
remember-
it's a tough job to take over after he came in and he got results.
Well, that's the thing.
That's the thing as
my
well.
first my first ever dealings with Celtic were with Martin O'Neill, and I had the pleasure of my first time actually up at Parkhead and seeing the place and actually drinking it in of what a huge institution this place would be. And you know what? It was his club. He knew the name of the tea lady. He knew the old boys on the door. He knew everybody in there. And Celtic had a feeling of being a historic club when he was there, and he was the custodian of it. You know, it was never about him. It was always about that club, and that for me was a real education on football. You know what I mean? He taught me an absolute crapload about how the club ran itself, how it was historical, and what it meant to the people. You know, when you actually go into Glasgow and you speak to people about the football, you speak to people about their club, that's when you realise how important it is. And I just think that they screwed it up. But I think that Wilfred Nancy also arguably, do you think there is any comparison that could be drawn from Wilfred Nancy going in after Martin O'Neill and Arne Slot going in after Jurgen Klopp?
No. I'll tell you why. I honestly believe that Wilfred Nancy didn't fully understand how big Celtic was. I believe that 100%, and that's no detriment to him. It's hard to understand something that you don't know what you don't know, okay? But you can do your research, and you can have the people now around you that do, yeah? And I don't know if they actually understood, because I'm a big believer in this, right? In this industry, everybody always wants to bring up experience. In this industry, you only get experience from doing, yeah? It's the only way. So everybody always, it's the number one thing that they like to say, you're not experienced enough. Or I'm only going to get experience by you or you or you
Giving me the
giving
opportunity,
me the opportunity,
that I'm going
right?
for, yeah.
So it's like a catch-22 with that.
Mhm.
I just think he wasn't ready, not for footballing, not for training, not for taking games. He wasn't ready for the media. He wasn't ready for the scrutiny. That's what I think he wasn't ready for. Nothing to do with how good of a coach he is, because I think he's a top coach. He is, and I think if he was given some more time, but it's at Celtic's expense, right? Celtics, the expense of Celtics, sorry. He would have came good, but Celtic don't have that time, right? So I understand that. The thing is with Arne Slot, come from Feyenoord, yeah, absolute massive club as well, like massive club. You don't understand how big that club is. Okay, won a league, right, in Europe, done really well in Champions League with Feyenoord. Had the experience of buying, buying top players from South America, from Europe, from wherever it is, integrating them into his philosophy and changing all of that, right? So acquisitions,
managing a multinational squad,
squad. So coming into a Liverpool that wasn't
such a massive change.
Wasn't such a massive change. Plus, it wasn't a mess internally how Celtic was at that time also, and it's a fact. You could just see the press releases after the way Brendan left. It doesn't mean that the club is a mess, but at that time, internally, it was a mess with each other, right? So some people this side, some people that side. Then Martin O'Neill comes in like this absolute folk hero legend.
Well, Martin O'Neill as well,
massive.
he made the point, and I think, again, we seem to be more and more every week just discussing the media handling of these managers. So Wilfried Narcy basically comes in, changes the system, they start to lose, and then says the players aren't ready. But Martin O'Neill won the majority of his games.
Yeah.
So when you come and say, oh, listen, they're not ready. No, you've come around, you messed it up, then they start to lose, and then you say you're not ready. No, you're the problem here because it wasn't broken.
Can you do me a favour? Can you just tell me how many games, please?
He had.
Yeah, please. Because I want.
Martin O'Neill?
No, not Martin O'Neill. Wilfried Narcy.
Narcy, I think he had 10 games in total. I think you won 2, lost 8.
Yeah, 10 games.
So in the 31 days, a game every 3 days, basically.
It's a game every 3 days. Yeah.
8 matches in 33 days.
8 matches. All right. Okay, cool. 8. So what? Just every 4 days, basically a game. So every 4 days. So I'll tell everybody this, right? If we're looking at a schedule now, so let's go. It's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, game Thursday. Yep. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday,
or Monday,
game Monday.
You meet them. Tuesday, you'll do a little bit of shape work. You're not training. You're just going to do a little bit of shape work. Then you have your game.
Right.
Following day
recovery. Second day, a little bit more. Yeah. Analysis, etc. Third day, match day -1.
Yeah.
Don't really do much. It might be like, a little bit of tactical again, and then we go into like let's get them excited. We're going for a game, etc. Whatever it might be.
This is it.
So what I'm saying to you, when you break it down, right, to actual work on what he wants, he's getting maybe 1.5 days a week.
But this
when
is
you
point is,
that.
you made it very, very clearly as well, is that these guys need to buy more time in the media.
And that is where he.
That's where he screwed up.
He wasn't ready, because I'm not being funny. Like I told you, we said this last time. The American media, for people who are working in America and who are American, they're unbelievable.
Yeah, they support you. They put you on a pedestal.
Even to a point on where, like, this is no disrespect to Pulisic. He's Messi. Like, to them, he's Messi.
Yeah.
Listen, top player is not no Messi. They couldn't believe he wasn't in the top 50 players around the world. Top 50. Yeah. But I love that. If I was American, oh my God.
Oh yeah.
Right? Don't get me wrong, there is pressures from them, and but it's still a pressure of,
But it is a celebratory pressure.
Pressure. He needs to be doing more because he is the guy.
Whereas when David Beckham was the icon over here, we couldn't wait. Couldn't wait,
and he ain't the guy. Get him out of it. He's rubbish. It's still like, listen, Weston McKenzie is that good. He needs to be doing more for the national team. Pulisic is that good. He needs to give us more. When he goes AC Milan, he's the best. But when he comes here, it's still a level of, we want him to do well.
Yeah.
Whereas the media over here, and especially like South America and and mainland Europe, like L'Equipe, Builder, listen, they just want to cut your knees off, right? So I just believe he was used to getting all the plaudits. Whatever he said was what he said. There was no scrutiny behind. There was no fact. It's like, okay, Wilfred Nancy, because he's winning the league, he must be right. Okay? He wasn't ready for the media and the perception that the media and the microscope, the magnifying glass. I don't know how many adjectives I can say. Yeah, he wasn't ready for that. As a coach now, I honestly believe he did not have time, because when you break down, 8 games in 33 days. That's four.
Impossible.
It's
Every
impossible.
4
It's
days.
four. It's every 4 days a
that you would
game.
put
That's
any
one
kind
and a
of
half.
identity.
That's 1.5 days of really having your whole A team on the pitch. People don't understand that. When you break it down like that, one
Zero
and a
chance.
half days. That is maybe 1.5 days. If I can put it into minutes, it's maybe 2 hours of actual grass time.
Yeah. It's impossible. It's impossible for you to have any kind of influence over your team. And that again leads us back to the managerial handling of the press and how it's going. So we've had Thomas Frank, who's made a bit of a boo-boo, sackable offence, we agree with that.
Sorry,
have...
can I ask you one more thing?
Yeah,
sir?
yeah.
I want to ask you something.
Mhm,
If Martin O'Neill comes in
mhm.
and in 33 days he gets the same results, I know he's got credit in the bank. He does.
Mhm.
He's absolute legend. Let's say he don't have credit. Let's say he didn't have credit in the bank, right? But he's still Martin O'Neill. He don't have that credit at Celtic.
Mhm.
Okay. 33 days,
Yeah.
8 games, same results. Does he get the sack?
No. No. He handles the media differently.
Yeah, he does.
And
I think that's the difference.
that in itself can buy you that difference. You know, if we think back to Sir Alex Ferguson's reign, it's well known how close he was to being sacked prior to the win in the FA Cup. And you know, again, the handling of the media, if it can buy you that little bit extra time that it takes to turn that thing around, you know, because Wilfred Nancy, we made the mistake of thinking, okay, he's got a couple of results, things are settled, it's going to click now. Because I don't think that anybody questions his ability as a coach. But I do think that when you are in these top jobs, these big jobs, you need to have that ability to be able to manage the whole thing.
Yeah.
And it's not just what happens on the grass.
Okay,
it's how it's also managing the fans' expectations.
Okay, but
it's
pivot
managing
then.
the man's perception.
You say that and we say that, right?
Mhm.
Because that's what it should be, yeah? But what should and what it really is two different things. So he should be able to manage it. But let's go Chelsea, Man United right now.
Well, I was going to pick up the Man United one. So
So
did you see the picture of Ruben Amorim leaving?
yeah, that was
Okay,
like,
describe him to me in that photo.
you gotta remember though, man. You know, as men, we have massive egos. Well, that's a crazy laugh. But
All right. Listen.
as men, we have massive egos and a massive protection shield. I think that was an ego and protection shield of like, yeah, I'm okay.
Have you ever known Manchester to be bright in winter? Because the dude's got his shades on right as he's leaving. He's put sunglasses on.
Don't do
He's put
that.
some. No. Whoa.
You weren't inside.
All right. So we have picked up this morning. We've already discussed the fact that by holding a coffee cup, you know, by being a little bit negligent, you would have got a sack elsewhere for that. Now,
Right, it's quite early. We're live.
I didn't say anything. So, but you know what I mean. You've had that one. So surely him leaving, you're thinking, okay, with sunglasses on, that is a message, right? We know that this guy, Ruben Amorim handled the media in a very, very sort of honest way. You know what I mean? He was captivating because he was brutally honest with what he was
But people
giving.
like that until they don't, right?
Absolutely. I thought
Okay.
that he was giving away far too much.
Yeah, you because you are you, but everybody loved it. Always coming in, he's being honest, he's suave, he looks good, he's got a nice
Well,
tan.
he did.
Yeah,
And then he took the Manchester United job, and week by week he got paler, he got thinner, and he's, you know what I mean? He just wasn't standing upright. He got hunched over and was like that. And within a month, he's basically looking like the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
It's a massive job.
And then as soon as he got his £10 million payout, the glasses were on, And he had a smile on his face.
See, I'm not going with that. I think it was
You
more
have
of
to.
no, because I think what happened was he didn't actually get sacked for results. He didn't. He got sacked for having an argument with Wilcox, right? That's actually what he got sacked for. You know it as well. If he didn't have that argument, he'd still be at the club right now.
Yeah, if he handled
I think that day
the
before,
media, so if
that
he
day
didn't
before,
speak
and then
in such a manner,
yes, and then because like we say, he should be managing this and managing that and etc. So when he says it, and he did say it in a way he knew what he was doing. He'd had enough, right?
yeah, it's something snapped. But I don't think that he would have been.
Do you think he self-exploded?
Yeah,
Sorry,
it was.
self-exploded.
Yeah. It was his decision to just.
So then that's
Go for
why it wasn't the 10 million. Let's not say it's still nice. It was beautiful.
I was going to say you've
But-
got to trigger it somehow, Kaz.
but
You've got to trigger your payoff somehow.
It was like I went the way I wanted to go. I said what I wanted to say. I did what I wanted to do.
Is that the
and
right thing? Is that the right thing to do as the
See,
manager of the
you
club?
can't
Should you
really
not
ask.
really?
You
me,
can't really-
me personally,
Yeah.
despite the fact that I'll talk a load of rubbish, you'll never hear me. When I'm in a club situation, when I'm in an agent situation, when I'm working on behalf of the player, I don't talk because my stuff is private. You won't hear about my transfer until it's finished
Yeah.
and someone else reports on it. I don't believe that your personal, your work, your employment should necessarily be the topic of discussion. So when people are asking about your transfers and that kind of stuff, I'm not going to give you any answer. Why would I? Why would I put myself in a position whereby you're affecting the whole
I
market
hear that,
as
but
well?
that's
You know
before.
what I mean?
Yeah, I hear that, but that's before the fact. What about after the fact?
After the fact is different. You give away pieces. You know what I mean? You don't need to tell them everything. Well, you
Honestly,
have- you know,
sometimes most of the time, it's difficult to talk on behalf of someone and how they're feeling and how everything's been perceived and their reality. You understand? We always talking about Amorim. He should be doing this. His tactics are this. The players and this, and we get that. But the actual internal relationships, we don't know. You know, he might have been saying things that we've been saying, and he can't. He's not mandated to. He thought he was. That was his job description, right? When he first came, obviously, he definitely believed that he was, and it come to fruition that he really wasn't. You understand what I mean? And I always feel like, you know, that's why when you're taking jobs, you really have to understand what you're getting into, especially these big jobs
like Chelsea.
like Chelsea.
So,
you know,
Liam Rosenior now confirmed as the Chelsea manager,
which we all knew was going to happen.
having taken over from Callum McFarlane.
You're such a anyway, go on.
Thoughts? What do you think of the appointment overall? What do you think of his early statements? What do you think?
There's loads out there to kind of dissect, isn't there? There's loads.
Okay,
If we
so
go
some of the
off-
stuff that I've seen
If we go,
is positivity because we've got a black manager in one of the top clubs in the Premier League. How much difference will that make?
in terms to what?
Generically, you know what I mean? Is it a big moment for black football coaches? Should it be celebrated? Is it going to make a difference? Is it going to trailblaze? What's your view?
I think every time a black manager comes around, it's always the trailblaze. It's always going to change something.
It's always touted.
And unless they go on to do something that is never seen before, which hasn't been done yet, in terms of winning the Prem, etc., etc. Once it becomes untainable, it's just forgotten about. Understand? Now, is it great for young people now to look at that? Of course it is. Aesthetically,
Yeah.
it is 100%. And anybody who says that it isn't is lying. But will it change a lot? It's yet to be seen. It never has. History always tells it hasn't changed anything. You know, I think Nuno Espirito did an unbelievable job. Now he's at West Ham. total different situation, total different variables, not doing as he should, quote unquote off, yes. Nobody's still talking about, oh, we need to see a little bit more representation of etc. in football. It is like, oh well, yeah, he's done. On to the next one, and the next one might not be a black man. Okay, but if we just talk about football, is he the right candidate for Chelsea? Yes. Yes, he is. The type of football that Liam plays, is it going to suit Chelsea? Yes. Free-flowing, creative football? Yes. But here's the catch. Is he going to be allowed to do that? So everybody's saying that Liam's not a yes man, which he's not. But not being a yes man at Strasbourg, and now not having everybody on you, coming down in your changing room, being at every training session, what do you think about doing this? You know, passive aggressiveness. What do you think about Johnny playing lunchtime? Johnny's looking good, right? Yeah, Johnny should be playing left back. I told you Johnny needs to play left back. Like, now it's how Liam's going to handle that. You know, is he going to be given the time as well? Because again, that's really important. He's coming into a systematical club now, in terms of how their recruitment is done, in terms of how their youth is done. You know, it's totally different. You know, that's like its own separate club, by the way. Also, his team now, I know he's been at France and he's had translators. Yeah. How is he going to work with being now in a multicultural, in terms of it's not just French now, one translator? How are you going to handle that? But in terms of football, is he the right man for the job? Yes.
What about pressure? Chelsea's a massive job.
Massive pressure. Massive pressure, but I think he's got a total different tools to work with for that pressure. He's got massive players. I've seen that they're trying to buy Vinny Jr. You know, no disrespect, he's going from Derby to Hull to Strasbourg to now Chelsea. Chelsea can buy any player in the world. I saw that they're trying to buy Vinny Jr. I saw that. Like, let's just say that's who you're being touted to have now at your disposal.
Different level.
It's a different level type. And when Vinny comes out or Cole Palmer comes out, you got Esteban. You know, when Esteban comes out, you got Neto. You know, I think all they need is that. Now you got Joao Pedro. And I think for them guys, Liam will be very good.
He's going to give them a proper playing identity.
Yeah, he will. The thing that he's going to have to deal with now is at Strasbourg, he probably didn't have it, but he's big, massive, absolute ginormous characters. Yeah, demanding, people knocking on your door. You know, absolute players that are like, for example, everyone's saying it was Maresca that's put Raheem Sterling out. So if it was Maresca that put Raheem Sterling out, does he come back in now?
Back in, right?
Okay, now. So now you got Raheem Sterling, who is a multi-winning Premier League champion. You're dealing with that caliber of player now.
I think we might see that it might be a club decision.
That's what I'm saying. It was therefore a club decision.
Whereas United, basically, the bench last night was full of any players who'd been out in the cold. Saw Darren Fletcher, only got one of his sons, so you know which son he loves.
Right. But in terms of is it good for black managers? Of course it is. You know.
One thing I want to ask you is that when it comes to coaching staff, historically, a manager will bring people that he has either played with or knows from very, very young, has known historically as well. I've never seen a black manager have an entirely black coaching staff. Is that because they're worried about how it's perceived?
100%. 100%. Also, though, I am a believer in best man for the job. Yeah.
But surely, because of the optic, I mean, let's be honest about it. As a black coach, if you're in there, one of the visual concerns they will have is the fact that we've got two black guys who are on the touchline managing the team. How does it look? Black goalkeeping coach, black fitness coach. When have you ever seen that in the staff outside of Africa?
I haven't seen it yet, and that's why I've always been like, listen.
You have to be careful, right? Let's face it. It's something that.
Do you?
I think that you have to be aware of it. It's
Do
something
you?
within football whereby if you're thinking about the
I
directors of
don't-
these clubs, why hasn't it happened today?
I don't think you have to be aware of it.
I
Me
think-
personally,
no,
I wouldn't.
Maybe it's something that
I'm
have
going
to be
with-
aware of it.
You know,
but
but people are aware of
people
it.
are.
They are aware of it, and sometimes for people, their success is more important than the bigger picture, right? Okay, it's just a fact. You know, we're humans, and 90% of humans only
Think about themselves, yeah.
care about what directly affects them. You know, but what they're failing to understand is what directly affects me affects my kids, affects my kids' kids, affects their friends, affects generally everybody that's around you, and people that's looking from here and looking from there. I think every job dictates differently. So for example, okay, you're looking at what club you're going into, you're looking at what your clientele is, you're looking at what your tools are in terms of players, and you're looking at that. Now you're never gonna just drop your mouth. Like if you're my assistant coach, you'll come with me everywhere, right? As long as me and you ain't falling out over whatever and there's been no disrespect, you'll come with me everywhere, but you might want to add and implement. Now why do I think that hasn't happened? Because I believe when black coaches have gone in and they've interviewed for the job, that team has not been that. They haven't said, right, well, this is my assistant, this is the plan, the picture's gone up, and it's been that. Because I believe that they think that they wouldn't get the job.
I think there's a second guessing. Is
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
are they ready for a black
But
manager?
I
Are they ready
don't-
for a black
I
manager
don't-
and an assistant manager?
Yeah, I don't want that job if that's not good enough for you. Then that's not a job for me, right?
But let's be honest, with a lot of black coaches,
Yeah.
this is a major consideration.
It is a major
All right,
consideration.
because
but it's a
when you're thinking
consideration
about when these coaches go into a club, they will have a staff, right? They will have people that they've worked with historically, whom they count on.
You know
Now,
what, Seb?
it's not necessarily that those jobs are available in the club.
Yeah.
So it may be that you get offered a contract and they say, okay, you can bring an assistant, or you can bring a goalkeeping coach, or a fitness coach, because the rest of the staff are there and you just have to fit things in, which could explain it. However, most managers will insist on bringing an assistant, and in most cases, if it is a black manager, the assistant is white.
Yeah, because in life, a lot of people ask for things. I have to word this with you. In life, right, people ask for things, but it's a tough topic, isn't it, right? And I don't want to say anything to kind of put myself and get taken the wrong way. But in life, right, a lot of people ask for things that they can't handle. Yeah? So they don't want to deal with that. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, some places
They
they're
don't-
not ready.
they
They're
don't-
just not ready. Whatever
It's not even
society
about not being
pretends,
ready. They don't
whatever
want to
society
deal with that.
pretends, they're not ready.
Yeah, it's not even about not being ready, so they just don't want to deal with it. They don't. Like, listen, I'm on, that's good enough. It's not good enough. Because who's right? Now, I'm not saying it has to be all black, because I'm not that type of guy.
No, but
I
for me, it's
am
an
the guy.
observation that I'm
It's an
making and
observation and it's a good
thinking,
observation.
It's weird.
It's
weird that historically, in this country, in the Premier League, on the touchline, we have not had that duality of a black manager and a black assistant manager.
And what I'm saying to you is because a lot of guys don't care.
Yeah.
They don't care.
Yeah.
I'm on.
It's irrelevant. Isn't it?
It's irrelevant.
So-
and it's also they don't believe that they will get the job if their whole technical staff is.
So it is a
black.
consideration. You know
It
what I
is
mean?
a
When you're picking
consideration.
your staff,
But I tell you
are-
this though, like if you go to here, I give it to you like this, right? And everybody's trying to make it because it's black. Like the word is being black. You normally bring on who your people are. It's a fact. I'm sorry. Arteta's staff is what?
Spanish.
Okay. Unai Emery's staff is what?
Spanish.
Okay. If we go around to everybody, wherever they're from, their staff is because that's who you're around. That's who you with.
Mhm.
That's who you have trust in.
Yeah.
That's who you're confident in. That's who you're learning from. Okay. And I maybe I'm not the right guy to speak about it, but here we are, and I will say things that people don't like. If you look at, I think who is really, really very well spoken on this topic is Nuno Espirito. Yeah, I love listening to the way he talks on this topic, how elegant he talks about it, with the essence that he talks about it with, how much it means to him, understanding. You know, my thing is, a lot of these guys don't really know where they're from. Yeah, when you understand who you are and where you're from, it means much more. No one can ever take that away, and you're going to do much more. A lot of people ask for things, but can't handle it, don't want to handle it. When it's there to be handled now, they shy away from it. And it will be tough because people get asked, oh, how comes you got such and such? But no one asks. Listen, even down, and she's amazing, right? There's a lady who was my nutritionist. She worked at Pachuca, and she's now the head nutritionist at Aston Villa. Yeah, amazing. She's really good at her job. But one of the reasons why she got the job, she's Spanish speaking. She can relate to the coach.
Yeah.
So, what people fail to understand is, if that was now 3 black guys, that it's like, oh, no, but he relates it. He needs that. That's what he relates. How he feel comfortable. He's gonna get the best out of him, etc. And some people don't want to deal with that. That's it. Some black guys that are in jobs, they don't want to deal with that.
So how much? I mean, listen, there's talk in black communities anyway. There's a responsibility to help each other, to put each other up as well. How much responsibility is there on black managers to help each other? Should they have that responsibility? Should it be a burden on them? Shouldn't we just be like pretty normal about it and just forget about colour? Can we?
You can't forget about colour when it should be like that. It sounds great. It should be. It should have been like that from 100 years ago. It should have been like that from 20 years ago, 30
Yeah,
years
your
ago.
family knows it slightly different, right?
Yeah, but it's not like that, and that's why you have to emphasize it. You have to make it known. We have to make it known. You can't go from what's the percentage of black players now, and you got 1 manager, 2 managers. So even when depending on what theory or what
school you're in,
what philosophy,
yeah,
it all comes back to who do your players relate to. So if you've got like, it's crazy to me, right? Because if you look at youth team football and coming up and etc., if you look at the majority of the demographic, right, and then double-barreled names with frizzy hair was my speciality. Anything in the south of London that had a double-barrel name with frizzy hair, I'm there. That's my footballers, and they've all got a certain demographic. They are all. I'm just saying, like, it has to be. You do have to have a responsibility, but at the same time, with responsibility comes great trust. You can't abuse that, right? And comes great work ethic. You need to be able to work at it. Meaning, you need to take pride in doing it. You can't abuse it. You can't abuse it. So what I'm saying to you is this, right? Is it has to be emphasis, but it doesn't mean, and I say it straight, black people, brown people, get on me if you want. It doesn't mean that every black person should have a job. That's not what I'm saying. And this BAME, I don't never conform to BAME, because that's just easy. Oh well, we interviewed to BAME.
Well,
What kind of adjective is that?
it basically puts you in a subgroup.
And I want to say this to everybody.
Basically.
I want to say this to everybody. Not every black person is the same. Right? Not every black person is the same. I am a mixed race black man. I'm a Turkish black man. Right? That's what I am.
There's not many of those.
No, there's not many of them. There's a few now. Right? But I am very different to Nigerian. A Nigerian is very different to a Ghanaian. A Ghanaian is very different to a Guyanan, to a Jamaica, etc. And how I can explain that to you is like this. If I was to call a Welshman Scottish, if I was to call a Scottish man Irish, you know, it's very different. Yes, we are similar, but we are not all the same. And I would like to say that to everybody. That's the thing with this world. We like to put everybody as the same. We're not. And that's what makes us the same.
So you said that Nuno Espirito Santo is one of the great guys to talk about it. I think that you're actually quite qualified to do it as well. You said know your history.
Yeah.
What's your history? How far back does it go? And why are you?
So there was 5 generations of my family up until 4 years ago. So not even 4 years ago. It was a bit longer than that actually. 7 years ago. Yeah. My nan, who is my dad's grandma, so she's my great grandma. My grandma, my dad, me, my son, and there's actually one more now. Yeah, but obviously my nan and my grandma they passed away. I got 47 cousins, so you can understand how many. That's just on my dad's side, like first cousins, right? So anyway, there's a lot of us. My nan and my grandma. So my nan, my grandma's mum, came here on a boat. Okay, and it sounds funny and people will clip that and whatever. That's what it was.
But that's the reality.
It's
She
the reality.
arrived
And
on
my
a boat.
nan came here, and as God is my witness, yeah, whatever religion you are, as God is my witness, my dad has my nan, she's my great grandma, has her paper which she entered the country on. Yep, house address in Leicester, location on this paper, and her number. Yep. And to the life of me, I can't remember what it says as what is that metric of that number. It was her number. Okay, she was meant to go to Leicester, because that's where Antiguans were being located at. So if you're in Leicester right now, I know I've got a lot of family in Leicester.
So do you know why did she come over? What was the deal?
She came over to help the NHS.
Okay.
Yeah, and then what she did is, you know, my nan was a superhero, man. She worked, saved up money, and sent for each one of her kids. Yeah, so my dad's mum then came over, and my dad's mum. So my nan's name is Amelia. My dad's mum, her name is Mayfi. Mayfi worked for the NHS as the head nurse for 50 years. Yep, and that's how we became England. My nene, which is my mum's mum, was a British evacuee from Cyprus because of the war. Okay, I know where I'm from. I know who I am. Right? So everyone knows I had to naturalize in this country. I'm born and raised there, never left there. So when people tell you certain things, you have to know who you are. I know who I am.
Comfortable with your identity.
Very comfortable. You have to understand my nan's mum, so my dad's grandma, was it's tough, let me politically correct, was taken advantage of by the plantation sons, the owner of the plantation, his son, which was a Scottish man.
So we're going back to plantations.
Yeah, in Antigua you had plantation for a while. You had sugarcane plantation. Okay, Antigua at one point was one of the most was the biggest country island to export sugarcane, which is now doesn't mean it's great. It could never be because you've got big manufacturers now in Mexico.
But back then it was plantations.
Yep.
And it was
So, which he then got sent back to Scotland, and my nan Amelia is a mixed race lady because obviously her dad was Scottish. Okay, and that's where the name Jacob comes from, Sheridan. So my family history before I turned Richards because of my dad's dad, Jacobs and Sheridans. So let that sit in. So I know who I am, and sometimes, you know, people that are getting jobs don't know who they are. You know, and once you know who you are in life, whether you're black, white, brown, whatever you are, you're gonna go a long way. And it's hard to kick you down. People can't handle it because you know where you're from, you know your history, you know your DNA. You understand? You know the struggles. You got all that on you. You know, it's a bigger picture. You understand? And then for my mum's side, you know, she came over as a British evacuee. She came over on a freight plane. Yeah, all her family, no clothes, no nothing. They came over here, and my uncles are very big in the community and done very well for themselves, and have helped to the economy massively, helped to the communities, you know. And so I am a Turkish mixed race black man, because when you look at me exterior wise, you know, people would never know that. People don't know. You know, if you didn't know I played football or nothing like that, people don't look at me like I'm Turkish. You understand? And it's just a fact. That is the way of the life, and it's okay to say that. You know, a lot of people don't like to tell the truth. When people see me, you know, they're not looking like, if I want to fall like, oh, it's a Turkish man right there. No, they're looking at me like, no, it's probably I'm out, man. I've been Brazilian, a Jamaican. You know, they don't really, not a lot of people know where Antigua is, right? I've been a Cuban. You know what I've been called? A Maui.
Oh, not bad actually.
That's
Some
all right. I was like,
Ireland as well, you know what I
yo,
mean?
I'm a bit bolo, yeah.
No, I'll take that one. I'll take that one.
Yeah, so you know when you know where you're coming from, and you know you got you know where you're going, and it's hard to fool you. You know, it's hard to fool you. It's hard to tell you something that then
Hard to fool you, or you're born with a sense of awareness?
both. Because I tell you something, if you say something to me in how we're gonna move, and this is the plan, and you're not doing it, I'm gonna hold you to that. Because it's more than just me. Understand what I'm saying? So,
And do you think, sorry, genetically, does that attitude, does it help with professional sports? Because are you
sometimes it
the
doesn't.
only person in that genetic tree
No,
to
there's
be
a
into
lot.
sport?
in mine,
Yeah.
say that again, sorry.
So in your genetics, your family tree, from this plantation era that we've just been speaking about, did it bear any other sportsmen?
Yeah. My uncle Andy Roberts, one of the greatest cricketers of all time. Yeah, it's my dad's cousin. You know, I don't like to call no one sir, but I will do it just in this time because he's got the title. And just because of like I know where my history is from, you know, and the empire gives those things, you know, like MBEs, sirs, and that. I don't conform to that.
You're not a royalist.
Yeah, I don't. Not
monarchist?
yeah, I
Yeah.
don't conform to that, you know. Like, but Sir Viv Richards, you know, he's there. He's not directly, but he's around, you know.
So he's also in this group. So
Yeah.
for you growing up, what did it mean to know
Man,
that
Uncle
within
Andy,
the genetics of you have world level sports?
Uncle Andy was a big thing for us. He always came over to England and always did in the community Antiguan Foundation, and my aunt, who's got the Steve Brown Foundation, he always came over and he did loads of talks, put on master classes for free for young cricketers, people that wanted to be cricket, whether you was black, white, Asian community was obviously
That's cricket. Yeah.
unbelievable at cricket. You know, I grew up playing cricket, love cricket to this day. You understand? He was a big reference for us in terms of, you know, even more coming from Antigua and having that recognition of being the Master Blaster. Yeah. Oh my God, I think that's the best nickname in history, the Master Blaster. Why? Listen. Hey, call me the Master Blaster Junior. I'm alright. I'm telling you. Yeah. So being that and having that, you know, like when Uncle Andy used to walk around, obviously in his younger days, you know, people would see him in awe because of that generation, what they was able to do
Were you always
to
walking
England.
close to him? As well?
Man, you know, I tell you a story. Like I went on holiday with my wife to Jamaica, and I was sitting down, and as God is my witness again, true story. I'm sitting down. We're in Jamaica. I'm having breakfast. So for breakfast, I had ackee and saltfish dumpling. And you know me, so when I say this, you can understand. Someone slaps me on the back of my neck. So I'm like, yeah, exactly.
Because if I can just you wouldn't have moved. You wouldn't have reacted to the slap. There would have been a pause,
Yeah. Like, how dare you?
followed by the slow one.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was, right?
Yeah.
Like, nah, it's about to go off in Jamaica.
Certainly just going.
Yeah, it's about to go off in Jamaica. Nah, that's crazy. turn around, and it's Uncle Andy.
Hey!
He's there for West Indies. What's the word?
Reunion.
Not a reunion. They had a talking about how they can make West Indies cricket better. They're talking about loads of different leagues. Yeah, whatever it was, right? And turn around. You know who's there? Courtney Ambrose. It's Courtney Ambrose. Oh my God. Courtney Ambrose is there. Viv Richards is there saying, "Yo, how's Mayfield?" Mayfield's my grandma. It's the first time I met him. No, I wasn't like that. Never. I'd never been starstruck until I met R9. Yeah. But still, it's like, oh, that's. I heard about you. Like, oh, they weren't lies. Oh, okay. Yeah. Mayfield's right. Is she still crazy? Because my grandma is like crazy. Like, oh, okay. Yeah. She's still crazy. Yeah. So
one of those moments. Actually, she wasn't lying.
Yeah. So that was like, seeing them in Jamaica was crazy. Again, knowing where you're from, knowing who you are, and I don't think people might not understand that, you know. And the number one thing I want everybody to take away, and this is footballers, this is media, not all black people are the same. Not all black people are the same. We're different, you know. We're similar, but we're different. Our cultures are different, you know. The things we eat are similar, but they're different. You understand? The way our education is at home, the way our principles are is very different. You understand? For example, in the African community, when a young person or someone who's younger than you is looking at the floor, it's a respect.
Yeah, it's not a disengagement.
It's not a disengagement. It's respect, because that is when you're in your family, when you are in your village, when you are with your people. Don't look at your elders in the eyes. Do you understand? Everyone is auntie and uncle.
The respect thing as well is something that I learned, because when I first got into being a football agent, one of my only advantages was I could speak French, and you know, the majority of my clients I decided to target were the ones who couldn't speak to anybody else. I thought captive audience, going to go and attack the French market, and these French players were almost uniquely West African.
Yeah.
Cameroon, Mali, Senegal, Ivory Coast, and they're also from the Paris area. So Paris itself, the Ile-de-France area, so Greater London equivalent of Paris, 85% of all professional footballers made in France come from that area. So if you're working with young players, basically, you have to go to see the family. And within any family, there's also a head of the family.
Yeah, it's what people don't understand as well.
There is a community sometimes. So it may not even be the players' parents who you're even talking to. It will be the local representative of that group. And one of the things that you have to be is respectful. And respect can be seen in many different ways. So I am a very, very picky eater. You'll be absolutely stunned to hear. So, Mr. Kazim, the amount and the range of dishes that I have been served.
And you had to eat it, right?
I had to eat it.
Disrespect.
I had to eat it. So, you know, intestines, fish heads, testicles, all this kind of stuff has been served up. And I became a master, an absolute master of having a plate of food, actually eating a very, very small amount of it, whatever I could do as I would do that. And just manipulate it around the plate so it appeared to be less on there as well.
Why didn't you eat it? It was nice.
The first thing I just said, I always said I had an upset stomach on arrival. Always said, how are you? I'm good. I just got some stomach cramps, so I'll be fine.
So
I'll
you
be fine.
set,
I would always set the scene first, because I knew.
That, Seb, you should have eaten.
I knew. I did eat. And the problem is, though, is that when you ate and you actually did, you know, let's say what was in front of you, and you thought, okay, I'm just going to do it, and you raced through it in order to get it.
So you've never had fungi?
Fungi.
It's an Antiguan dish.
What is it? No, because it rings a bell.
Fungi, saltfish, and.
No, I haven't had it.
You haven't had fungi?
No. No, mine was. There was a very special mix of Cameroonian and Mali food that I had as well. And the only thing that I can say is that it was.
Dukna. Yeah, Dukna.
I don't know what.
I'm giving you Antiguan.
Listen, they're not on my Just Eat orders.
Dukna is like sweet sweet potato, condensed milk. Jamaicans, they call it blue draws.
Is that your thing? What's
Oh,
your go-to dish? If you're saying nene,
My nene,
yeah. What was it?
fasulia.
Yeah.
You know fasulia?
No, but you mentioned it earlier on.
No, that's dolma. My nene is dolma is right, but fasulia is fasulia, but with some meat inside. Yeah, you can have fasulia without. It's like beans.
But that's your go-to.
Like string meat.
That's
yeah,
your
yeah,
go-to.
yeah,
So
that's beautiful. That's my nene. My grandma would have been like I told you. Her dumplings, her dumplings, her cow foot, bullfoot soup, whatever you want to call it. Was nice.
Calfoot, Uriah Rennie, rest in peace.
Yeah, crazy story. But yeah, that's my thing, you know. It just depends what drives that person. For me, that's what drives it. I wanna try and. I don't know how we're in 2025 and we're still.
26 now.
No, 26. Wow, sorry, 2026, and we're still talking about these things, and we're still question marks over, and that's why it's good that Liam's got the job.
Yeah.
You know, been through it at first hand. In terms of going for interviews and nothing comes of it, you feel sometimes like you're a number.
Yeah, there's never represented black coaches before, specifically black Muslim coaches. And I've got to say, the early 2000s, bloody hard sell that one. Beautiful CV, real good accolades on there as well, real experience, and in my view, he was a top coach too. Nothing like that. And equally, I had a white coach. We get answers. Same application process.
Why do you think that is, though? I want to ask from your perspective, because everyone asks from people. Because listen, I'll be honest with you, yeah. People who are hiring don't look like me. Fact. Don't like it, doesn't like it. I'm sorry. That's the type of person now, and I just speak what I feel, my truth. People who are actually hiring and making the decisions do not look like me. Yeah, that's partly the problem. People that talk about diversity, that are actually making the decisions, not talking, don't look like me. Or don't look like another person. That's fact. So they look like you. Okay? Whether they are like you is very different, but they look like you. Why do you think it's such a scare factor, let's leave him out. Or let's interview him, but we really know who we're going for. Why do you think that is? What do you see is what is it? I've never actually had this is my question. I've never actually asked someone.
I think that when you go into any football club and you look at the football club board, the people who actually have the investment in the club itself, who will pull the trigger on a manager if they've got that involvement. How many of them are younger? Not many. All older guys. Generationally, I'm young to them.
Yes.
Okay. And if you think about the footballing environment that these guys grew up with, if I was born in the early 80s and these guys are born in the mid 60s,
or before that, in many cases, culturally it's a different world. It's a different world, and I'm afraid that you carry that with you. In the same way that we're very sure of our own identities, these guys are as well. And historically, they haven't had a need. There hasn't been an influx of culture, whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? There are many places whereby they don't have the same multicultural mix as we do here in the capital, and they haven't been exposed to it. Where I grew up in Sussex, there was 2 kids who weren't white. Listen, I just want to tell people this year, I don't want a job because I'm black.
No, but people are scared.
Let me finish.
People who make the appointments are scared.
Exactly. I don't want a job because I'm black. I want a job because I'm capable. But I am a capable black man. It's not going to go away.
So how do you feel about the...
So what you said is right. I want to say what you said because that's my thing. It's like the world. Nothing's going to change until that era of person kind of dies out. In terms of 40s, 50s, 60s, that doctrine way of thinking, nothing's going to change, right? And then we have to understand as well, like if we have to understand that we have to also be honest with ourselves and be able to hold that weight of being that person.
One observation I'll make.
Yeah.
All right. COVID, basically, everybody locked down. We had the Me Too movement for women, and there was a lot of noise around black people's involvement in the media. All of a sudden, TV adverts in this country, from being exclusively pretty much white, unless we were advertising something that was perceived to be cool, in which
Yeah.
case we get a black person on to do some dancing. Now every single advert is, we've got representation of black people now. Do you think that means it will be easier to appoint a black manager in future and have that black
No.
manager, black
Listen,
assistant manager, because people are used to it visually?
No, I tell you something. Right, you have to remember, because of the systematically way people have been oppressed. Right, whether you're black, you're if you're in France, you're Algerian, you're Tunisian, wherever you might be.
Le
Right,
Beurre is
we
a good term, yeah.
we as a people, yes, and I'll say as a people,
Mhm.
yeah, we have always been taught, yeah, have been dictated to go against each other. Yeah,
There's a conflict.
of course. Like, so, light skin, dark skin. You got good hair. He's got bad hair. Right? It's been a form of oppression.
Mm-hmm.
It has. It doesn't matter what you want to say, whether you like it, whether I just explained to you. Yeah, I grew up with my granddad. Okay, my granddad directly, who was living in a place at the time that was deemed to be, as we said, plantation. Okay, so it's right there. So we have been forced against each other, loads of places. Look at this light skin girl. Look at this light skin girl. Dark skin's the flavor this year. Light skin's the flavor, right? So what we do in our mind as well is, why, to answer your question from before, why has a lot of people, and I say it now, I didn't really want to say it before because it can be taken as a if there's no context, if people's not listening to the whole podcast, right? I tell you why. Because we have been taught that there can't be more than one of us. You understand? So there can't be more than one of us. So you don't want to have maybe an assistant black guy, an assistant goalkeeping coach or a goalkeeping coach, because like we're against each other now. Oh, he might get ahead. And what happens to me? It comes from years and years and years.
Two sides, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, and then also it is a form of, they don't believe that, if they have a coaching team and it's 5 black guys, that they will get on. But it's also internally as well, because you have to understand, for 220 years, even till now, there can't be 2 black barbershops on the same street. There can't be 2 West African or African shops on one street.
Mm-hmm.
They can't be like that. So then, if I look at my Turkish side now, it's very different. It's about, okay, now let's the whole of Green Lanes.
And
Everyone's helping
community
everyone.
and proximity,
Because
right?
they haven't been indoctrined
Yeah.
into having that mentality.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's slowly breaking. You've got people like, no, I'm not blowing my own trumpet, I'm not saying I'm the best coach, but you've got people like me that is willing to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm willing to step out and make mistakes. I'm gonna make mistakes. You understand? That's the way of the next ones who are coming in, that will be able to, you know what,
Benefit from those
benefit
mistakes,
from
yeah.
those mistakes. Like I have my whole career. Been everywhere, made mistakes, didn't get paid for a year, didn't get paid for 6 months.
Had to go and train 120 kilometers away.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I've been that guy.
The media
So,
stuff,
but
the
people have to
transfers,
understand as well, and everybody will be like, I'm not calling racism no more. That's not what I'm saying. So let's get that out of it. But you have to understand the programming of how it's been.
Mhm.
You understand? We've been pitted against each other.
Now this is your
now
story as well. It's not
yeah,
subject,
but now it's not.
it's not subject to anybody else's point of view, really. When it's
No,
your
and now it's bigger than
personal
that.
experience.
Now it's like Caribbeans against Africans. You know, there can't be too many all the time. They can. We can all flourish.
Well,
You know, I can have a black backroom staff. If he does well, for example, and he's ended up getting on more than me, then I'll go and be in his backroom staff then. Like,
works out.
you understand? For example, and yeah, that is. It took me a while to get there, just because I got to be very mindful, and I'll be honest to people that this world now cuts up things, and there's no context to it. So I hope if people do cut it, they make it understood.
Yeah, you're dreaming. But
There's-
anyway.
Yeah, I'm dreaming.
So one of the new places where we've been talking a lot about backroom staff, where they have them, temporary backroom staff, Monsieur Fletcher in Manchester United. So last night,
You owe him an apology.
I don't owe him an apology. Because what he did was he played it smart. So I had alluded to the fact that Mr. Fletcher would give debuts to both his kids and basically tax them for their appearance fees or
That's
their first
such
team
a bad
bonus
thing
as
to
well.
say,
It's
man.
not such a bad thing to say, dude. Listen, your son is going to be in this situation one day, and I'm going to look you in the eye and I'm going to say, "Told you so." But until then,
Ojalá,
and-
inshallah.
until then, we're going to concentrate on Manchester United. Now, the point I wanted to make is that Darren Fletcher has been there. He sought the blessing of Sir Alex Ferguson before going in there, like he was marrying the club or some kind of crap like that. Now, the point I wanted to make is that what he will do is he will go in there, and because he won't be Ruben Amorim, insisting that they play in a really bizarre system.
Hold on. So
gonna
what's the
happen?
difference with that then?
What?
So he's getting the credit. He's getting the blessing from Sir Alex Ferguson.
It's very important.
It's very important,
Very
right? Because
important.
he wants that job for sure. He wants that job.
Oh!
Exactly.
You've been anointed.
So that's what you do, right?
You've
as
been
parents.
anointed.
Hold on. That's what you do.
Number one. What
You
do
see,
do?
you see what I'm saying? You see the difference. You see the difference? What we was just talking about, and now it's coming out. He's giving him his blessing. No matter what happens, it don't matter if he takes over and becomes better than
He's
Alex
already
Ferguson.
got more time in the bank than Wilfred Nosey will have as a result of that. That's the truth. That's the God's honest truth. Now the other thing that Fletcher will do is he will bring Marcus Rashford back. I think he will probably bring Højlund back full time.
It's hot in there.
It
Sorry.
is hot in here, and it's not just the discussion; it's the fact that it's freaking small.
Yes.
But will Manchester United next season, under a full-time stewardship of Darren Fletcher, it's going to happen?
You think it's going to happen?
It's going to happen. Why? Why would it happen? Because their squad is a hell of a lot better than it was last season. Number one,
Right.
a hell of a lot better. They're going to be playing from now until the end of the season in a formation that is a hell of a lot better to the squad. Results will improve. They're going to finish top 6
When? Next year?
this year.
This year?
This year, they're going to finish top 6.
If he finishes top 6.
Top 7.
What's
Top
to
8.
say?
They'll finish in the top 10.
So you
They might
think,
have
you
a-
think he's going to get it to the end of the season?
I think he's going to get it to the end of the season
Didn't I
because
see
Sir
something
Alex
about-
Ferguson has given
He's
him a
blessed
blessing.
him. Didn't Sir Alex Ferguson bless Solskjaer as well?
He did, and Solskjaer got the job permanently, right? So
No, but what I'm saying,
that's
how
what you
did
need
that
to
go?
do. Give
How
you
did that
time.
go?
It was fun. It was fun. Solskjaer didn't have a clue, and he looked really out of his depth, but he had the blessing.
Is he not up for this one as well?
They've already done it, right?
I
He's
don't
had his
know.
go. Van Nistelrooy had a go. Solskjaer's had a go. Fletcher's going to have a go. So they won't give it to Neville because he's an absolute disaster. Look at what happened at Valencia. That was absolutely hilarious. So we've got that situation there. Who is going to get it? So I think obviously he's going to get it permanently because of what we said already. Who else? Who's next in line?
For the end of the season, excuse
Yeah.
me, sorry. Or for now.
I can't see them giving it to anybody else at the end of the season because
No?
he's cheap. They've
That's-
just spanked. They've
Everyone
just
keeps
spanked
saying
10
that
mil.
cheap word
They've
keeps
just
coming out
spanked.
everywhere,
They've just spanked
man.
10 mil, getting rid of Amorim, and they'd already bought.
So this
they
is
had
no,
to buy
this is
Amorim
no.
as well,
Okay,
by
so
the way.
this is no reflection on Darren Fletcher or anybody else. My thing is, you pay for what you get, right? And that can't be a metric. It can't be. It can't be a metric for hiring someone that he's cheap. You're
It
Man United.
absolutely is.
I know- I
can
understand
tell you,
it
I can
is.
tell you,
I understand
absolutely
it
is
is.
because you've
But
got
then-
FFP, and if you have blown, because let's face
So
it,
then, if he
this
turns
manager,
out not to be great, right?
you know what? It's brilliant. It's brilliant because he's only got a deal till the end of the season.
I'm not
that'll
talking
be
about
it.
specifically this. I just mean in general.
I think in general, what we're going to see is we're going to see managerial contracts because Liam Rossini has signed a 6-year deal.
But they've done their contracts like that. They've
I
been
know,
doing it.
come
Like, so
on.
who's a player that got a 10-year contract? Like,
I
that's
know,
nothing
but
new.
it's
And you got to remember to coming from the owner's
6
country.
years.
10 years is a normal deal.
6 years. I just think it's completely unsustainable, and I think the model is going to go the other way, whereby there should be a managerial transfer window. We'll do this next time, but in order for clubs to have some sort of stability, you should stick with your manager start to end of the season. There shouldn't be any changes.
You can't tell someone how to run their business, though.
Why, if they can tell you when you can swap players, can they not tell you when to swap managers? If it's a technical thing, if it's a grass thing.
Yeah, but that's technically swapping players to other teams and stuff like that. Because they can't tell you when you can pay up a player's contract. They can't tell you that. So if the club want to get rid of you in February and you're okay with that, okay, here you go, see you later. You just can't play no more. So they can't tell you. They can't tell you about coaches then.
Well, it's the same situation. Listen, I'm afraid that managers never used to have agents. Right, managers used to be allergic to agents until they found out, oh crap, if I get an agent, I'm going to get more money. Oh, we love agents now. So every single manager, true or false? True or false? They've all got agents.
Yeah, but
I've represented them.
Say again.
I've represented.
I
these
know
managers.
you have, but that doesn't.
When you're in this situation,
That's
you
normal.
know.
That's normal. It's normal. They should have agents. They should have people looking out for their best interests.
So if that
They
is the
should.
case,
Should have the right one.
Because you
though.
know what's happened at Celtic, all right? Wilfred Nancy is basically just a big excuse. He's a big scapegoat for
Yeah.
the whole car crash that they've had going on there politically in the directors' room at Chelsea, at Celtic. Okay? He didn't do anything wrong. He's come there. He's messed it up a bit. It hasn't gone fantastically, but he's done 31 days. You can't mess it up in 31 days. He's not responsible for all of Celtic's bloody ailments, is he? So the club is responsible, the directorship.
Yes.
If you don't get rid of the manager, who has to bear the brunt? The club, the people who actually make the decisions. They're the ones responsible. They put him in. So don't blame the guy. He's just a... That is my argument, that you should have that transfer window instead. So the clubs are accountable. Players that they're signing, the manager that they're putting in place. It's not all on the manager. I think we're seeing at Tottenham at the moment.
You need to stop using that manager word though. It's not all on the coach.
Head coach.
Yes, because when you use manager, it is all on him. Because now you're managing everywhere.
Mhm.
I don't think none of them are managers anymore. Not that they can't be, because they can, but I feel like they're not. And then when they're getting held as a scapegoat to 5-6 signings that are not performing now, I never asked for him. You just put him there. Now I have to try and get the best out of him, but it's not a player that I feel that I needed for my squad.
Yeah.
So now you get tarnished, right? And everyone can say that, well, he's the coach and has to make him better. Okay, if maybe I don't see anything in. We're not talking about youth team players. We're talking about first team players. I don't see anything in his attributes, in his character, in his ability that benefits my team.
Which is why Brennan Johnson went to Crystal Palace, I think.
Why do you need to do that?
And on that note,
Like, that's crazy.
and on that note, it's been
don't do
stunningly fun to spend more time with you, Mr. Kazim. It's a regular thing.
I would just like to say, all the opinions of Seb Ewing are
Uniquely
Seb
mine.
Ewing's alone, and not mine. Thank you.
Hasta luego. Ciao, ciao.
That's a crazy pivot, Seb.
You know what needs to happen.
That's crazy.